What's up guys, my name is Gabriel Varga. I'm a 6-time pro kickboxing world champion, and today I'm going to take you guys through level 1 all the way up to level 10 on roundhouse kicks. A lot of people don't realize there's so many stages, so many levels, so I invite you guys to follow along, see what level you're capable of now, and hopefully challenge yourself and improve and become more advanced by the time we finish this video. Guys, intro first and then all the kicks right after. You guys have probably noticed that I have a different filming space today. This is just a little change up on my property. I had to move rooms while I was doing some construction, so hopefully this will suffice for now. Plus, what I really like about it is I'm able to get a full body shot, whereas in my other room I wasn't. So I think this is fantastic for the moment. I hope you guys are happy with the setup, but rest assured I will have a proper filming studio sometime soon. Something really nice, really crispy. Everything will be on point. So what I want to do with this episode is actually demonstrate for you what the kicks should look like and then take you through the finer points of each kick so you really understand the intricacies of each level as we move up and up and up. So let's start off with level number 1, and we are talking about the basic roundhouse kick. So first off, going through a few points that are very important but will relate to all the other kicks. What we want with our leg, our kicking leg, we want to make sure it's not coming obviously up vertically, but for kickboxing or Muay Thai, it's also not coming straight across horizontal. We want to come in a bit more on a 45-degree angle. Now, let's focus next on what my hands are doing. I'm going to have one hand that attaches to the head, the leg that is kicking, the arm that matches that will swing down. Now, ideally when I land here, I've accomplished a couple things. Number 1, I've protected my head to the side, and number 2, I've done a full pivot on my foot. If you are kicking on an upwards angle, you may choose to elevate through the heel. This will help raise your weight up, and it will help your pivot because when you disconnect, you don't have a lot of friction area through your entire foot. As you turn, you have just the ball of the foot. I'm gonna give you guys a couple demos here. The big thing on this kick is we are hitting something and pulling back. That's what we do on level number 1. So I could either just hit midair and just practice kicking, pull back, kick, pull back. Or if I have a target, same thing, I just throw my kick, drop back down, throw my kick, drop back down. I'm just looking to get the finer details of this one, get my pivot, rotate my body, make sure my hand position is correct. Level number 2, guys, is when we now take that round kick and we follow through. We are no longer hitting something and pulling back. That's great if you make contact, but what if you don't make contact? Or what if you want to throw a full power round kick, you hit the guy in the head and you just continue through. So stage number 2 is taking the leg and letting it sail right through. If I have a target that I'm aiming for, I hit it, follow all the way around, and from there I'm maximizing my power. The big thing on this one, especially when we do it mid-air and we're not hitting an actual target, is to make sure I don't fall on my back. The way people usually fall on their back is when they kick, they lean their weight way back. And then there's a chance if this leg comes out that I just lift up mid-air and then I collapse right down onto my back, knock the wind out of myself. One of my students did that last night, got too excited, hands are up. I make sure my head stays right over my foot, and then I can throw my kick and let it come right across my opponent's face. On these ones, the big thing is to maximize that pivot. Now guys, let's move on to kick number 3, level number 3. And from here, we are talking about a defensive round kick. This is not something that a whole lot of people do, but it's not overly complicated at the same time. There's a small change in what we already did. We threw our round kick before. When we threw it before, we're coming this direction. We're coming across, and when I finish my kick, my leg is straight or almost straight. But on the defensive round kick, I finish with a bent leg. And what this does is if somebody's approaching me, if I see them coming, I lean my head back a little bit and I get my shin across their torso. Now from here, I've created a boundary, a barrier, which makes it defensive in nature. I would not utilize this kick if somebody was just standing here. I wouldn't bother coming up and trying to do that. You possibly could, but it's not the way I like to use it. I like to wait for somebody to move to me. I might be standing here, they move in, and I just jam them. Stage number 4, we are talking about the shuffle round kick. What does this mean? Well, instead of just throwing my kick off the lead leg, which minimizes its potential power, I need to switch my stance. But I don't simply want to just jump in the air and have both feet land down and do a full stance switch. Number 1, having 2 feet leave the ground at the same time is a little bit dangerous for me. And number 2, it's slow. This is a slow transition. So what I want to do is I want to have the lead leg go first, the back leg go second, and now from there I've created that nice little load up, that little pivot in my hips, and then I can unwind my body. So if I'm standing here, I'm moving around, quick little switch, and one more time. And that switch kick is a great way to get power off the lead leg and also to close distance. If I'm out of range, I do my little switch, and now I'm in range because I just did a little step forward off the back leg. Number 5, guys, we are talking about a front kick fake. What will that look like? Well, something like this. I come up from my front kick to the chamber, and then I very quickly turn it over and I snap out my head round kick. And I'm not talking about a question mark kick. A question mark kick is an entirely different thing. It's not so much a round kick, it's a little different because we come down. On this one, we're staying very strict with our movement. Up, turn, touch. So it's still a round kick, in my opinion. Front kick to round kick fake. You guys want to learn how to do this, you very simply find a surface, something that you can lift up, put your leg in a front kick position, practice pivoting through your bottom foot, turn your hips over and your shoulders sideways, and then you throw your round kick. Bring it back, that's an unpivot, I square my chest out, I turn, touch, back, turn, touch, back, and then you practice it on target. Lift, trying to get them to bite on the fake, up and around. Technique number 6 is one of my least favorite, but can be super, super effective. It is the round kick, also known as a toe punch. So what we are doing, instead of landing with our shin or landing with our foot, even further back now, we take our big toe and we jam it in. I have been hit with this. I've seen people get knocked down with this. I have tried this technique, although as I said, it's not one of my favorite because you do run the risk of throwing that toe in, having somebody jam the elbow in, and then the toe literally will just break. It's very important that you get good at being very precise with your placement. I don't want to just throw up and hope I hit the soft belly. I want to make sure that if his elbow's over here, I'm able to come into the front, or if his elbows are in front, I'm able to come around the side. One of the guys who has been very effective with this in MMA was telling me basically you just have to throw, and yes, you are going to run the risk of breaking that toe, so you need to decide if it's something you want to do. Don't just try and bust it out in sparring. You definitely want to get on a bag and just practice throwing it in and playing around with the technique first. The toe punch. Terrible feeling when you get hit in either side. It digs in, it knocks the wind out of you, and it doesn't seem to matter how tight your stomach is, it still inflicts a lot of pain. Number 7, guys, and we're starting to move up in difficulty now, which means we incorporate a jump. We are talking about a scissor round kick. What does that mean? Well, we already practiced before lifting and then turning over for the fake. But on this one, we lift, and now the leg that's on the ground is going to jump in the air and it's going to become the kicking leg. This leg, which I raised up for the fake, will lower to the ground and catch me so I don't fall on my back as I'm kicking with this supporting leg right now. I bring my leg up, I use the energy from this to pump my body in the air, and then I have to turn my whole torso over to get the round kick off. Looking something like this, hopefully. One more time. Back this up because we're going to need a little more space in a moment. Technique number 8, we are talking about the rainbow kick. Now, I'm sure there's some people who are first going to go, what is that? I'll show it to you, don't worry. But if you already know what this kick is, you might go, oh, I don't think that really deserves to be up at the high level. But I'm going to correct you and say, yes, even though throwing this kick might not be the most difficult thing, at least doing it somewhat correct, doing it perfectly, being able to pull it off is very, very advanced. And I will explain all the details to you right now. So what we're doing on a rainbow kick is we are, as it sounds, we're bringing our leg way up and around. Big full circle. But instead of doing that, if my head's up high, trying to sweep it around really high, it just doesn't work. So what I have to do is I have to drop my head level. As I drop my head level, I'm trying to get my opponent to bite on the fact that I might be throwing across to the body. So I drop my head way down, I keep my head down, and then I execute a big pivot and I sweep my leg right through. Now, one of the reasons this is so interesting, this kick, is I can pull it off from very long range. I can do it right from here, or I could also be right in here and still pull it off. So to be able to do this kick correctly, you have to be able to do it at different distances, which means you need to imagine full range. Sometimes I'm in here, I'm moving around, I drop, and long. But then at the same time, I have to be able to imagine they're right here. I do my little dip, and I execute from a tight distance. The difference being one is full extension. The other one, as I come down, I keep my leg bent. And then only when I hit my imaginary target do I start to extend my shin through. It's just the height difference of the head, which is more difficult on this. Doing it on pads, semi-difficult. Shadow boxing, not so much. Being able to do it to an actual opponent, so much more difficult, which is why I put it way up high in our skill level. Moving on to level number 9, we are talking about the touch switch roundhouse kick. Now, we already did our basic one where we lift and we jump and we switch our hips, but this time, and the reason this is more difficult, I have to touch the leg with one foot and now jump and touch with the other. I have tried this in a fight before. I never landed it with a knockdown, but I have landed the shot, and some of the guys who are super effective at the fancier roundhouse kicks have landed amazing knockdowns with this technique. So the trick on this one is you basically just have to go for it. There's no half speed, there's no 75%. This is a full speed kick. As I throw my initial kick, I don't want to turn my whole body over, because now unwinding it before I touch the ground is far too slow. I keep my hips square, I throw almost an improper, no pivot round kick, keeping everything nice and steady. And then when I make contact, from there I jump and I land my kick, something like this. All right, one more time. Maybe I'm moving around, I touch them once, I touch them a second time, and then on the third I execute with the fake. And our number 10, our highest skill level round kick for today is the tornado kick. A tornado kick is a combo of a round kick fake, followed by a 360, followed by a scissor round kick, which we already did. So to break it down slowly, usually I would be within range of my opponent, but as I throw my first round kick, they move out of the way. So I'll start back here to make it nice and simple. I throw my round kick, they move backwards. I want to be able to catch up with them, so I put my foot in front instead of kicking and drawing it back in line with the other leg. Have to move forward. So from there, what I do is I complete my 360. I come here, I find my target, and now when I bring this leg up, I almost want to invert it. I'm not going to bring it, if I was coming towards you guys, I'm not going to bring foot right under the knee. I'm actually going to go like this because my hips should already be turned over. And then from there, I throw my roundhouse kick. I'm going to do a nice little demo here, very calm, very chill. I come through 1 and then into 2. A little lean back is ideal. 1 into 2. You see guys like Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya throw this all the time, but it's more for fun. Technically, in terms of scoring a knockdown, this is an unlikely kick, but skill level wise, it's very, very high. And we'll talk about the reality of the different skill levels, landing knockouts, how effective are they, but let's do this kick a couple more times because it is difficult and we don't want to rush through it. So my back leg throws the round kick, I step forward, I'm still looking at the target, I refocus on the target after I do my 360, I take my, what is now back leg, I lift it up, and then I jump and I switch my hips over, all in one nice fluid motion, never letting my energy stop. That's why it's called the tornado. The motion is just building and building to finish off that last kick with so much power. Right from here, come 1, boom. One more time for the KO shot. So what do you think, guys? Did you make it through level 1 all the way to 10? Understand the technique, being able to execute it in a fight or in a sparring match. If you did, comment below. 10, you got a 10, impressive. If you guys felt like some of the techniques were a little bit more difficult at the higher level, start adding them into your shadow boxing, and see with a little practice if you can round out level 1 to 10, add it all to your arsenal. But remember, and this is very important, a lot of people want to move up to number 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I learned the fancy kicks. My skill level is really high. I'm going to be so good. You need to be focused on the fact that level number 1, 2, and 3, the basics are what win fights. The basics are what score knockdowns. The basics are what you should really work on if you want to become a higher level fighter. For myself, 6 pro world titles. I've thrown a couple of the fancier kicks here and there, but it's the basics, the bread and butter that win me fights, not the fancy ones, unless you are something like the 1% of the 1% within the martial arts community that can pull off these techniques and actually make them land time and time again. That's the big thing. It's not just once, you need to be able to do it again and again and again. So it's not just luck, it's skill. Guys, if you enjoyed the level 1 to 10, the build-up, the routine, the explanation, let me know in the comments below. I will make more videos like this. Some will be workout related, some will be technical. We can have a lot of fun with this series if it's something you guys want to see more of. So let me know down there. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you haven't already, join the channel, get subscribed. Train hard, guys. I'll see you back here soon for another video.